Welcome to Larry's Library. I'm here with Reid Chancellor. Full disclosure, he's my son-in-law, but he's a pretty great indie comic artist and writer, and we're going to talk about a lot of stuff, but mostly his new release, this completely limited edition hardcover of Sad Religion. Now, if you didn't get a chance to buy Sad Religion 4, is it out of print, the soft cover?
Technically.
Yeah, I think the soft cover's been out of print for a while. It's fantastic. It might be my favorite of his works, and I like a lot of his stuff a lot. But talk like he's not here.
Yeah, that's fine. That's news to me. But yeah, that's.
But mainly because of the subject matter, because it's something that I struggle with continuously.
Sure.
And probably a lot of people do.
Yeah.
But they're too afraid to admit it. You know, and that is belief and religion and what do you?
All of it, yeah, yeah, all through like little. It's the way I describe Sad Religion is it's like a mixture of David Sedaris meets Charlie Brown meets like church camp, kind of, or unpacking church trauma and like religious trauma as well.
I will say something just a little bit controversial because, he turned out to be a bit of a creep, but we didn't know that for years, and that's Woody Allen. I followed Woody Allen stuff for many, many years. I grew up just devouring his work, and a lot of it touches on existential crisis and religion and stuff, and in the best way. It really did. Love and death, and I could just go on and on, but we won't get into that. But some of it kind of reminded me of that in a very good way.
Yeah.
But this cover is new for this edition.
Yes, yeah. New cover.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah, and I will point out, so Sad Religion, the title, is a play on the band Bad Religion.
Right.
Which, that's what this cover is based off of a little bit, because it's like multifaceted in the ways, because Bad Religion's logo was the Crossbuster, which is based off of the Ghostbuster. And so I took...
I don't have it with us here, but I'll put it up.
I put up the Ghostbuster. Yeah. So I basically just kind of merged it all together. So I'm kind of like calling back to what inspired Bad Religion to do their logo, and then same with mine. So that's obviously a riff off of it's an homage to the Ghostbuster logo, but then also to Bad Religion's logo as well.
Yeah, I like it a lot. So this is all black and white inside, but I like how you've got the some tones here in the flower. Mm-hmm. So how do you do that?
So that was actually done. So with this, so that's the original ink drawing for the cover of the first edition. And I kind of tweaked it for the title page on the inside. So if you remember, the original cover had like an angel and devil on there.
Yeah. So here's the.
The original cover it's that same drawing. I had just for the title page taken out some stuff, but so that was actually done digitally. I did the tones digitally, and then on the inside part of it, we just just grayscaled it.
Okay.
So really, I don't do a lot of my coloring traditionally. Like all of my inking is done traditionally, but all of like my actual colors are all done digitally. So even the tones and stuff like that get done digitally, just because it's easier to tweak.
Yeah, makes sense. I grabbed a lot of these sort of intro images, and I like the composition here quite a bit.
Yeah, that was a fun one. And that's all like that's a little bit of that's like, so when I first did Sad Religion, I talk about this a little bit in the introduction for the new edition, that like the idea was it to sort of be kind of like Hate or 8-Ball even, or just kind of like these little, like almost like an anthology, like a one-person anthology thing, like from the Black and
a lot
White
of them are short bits, but then there's some longer stuff.
Yeah, and so that was kind of the idea. So like this image was going to be a cover. This was going to be a cover that I was going to use for one of the individual like short versions, and then it just ended up throwing it in here as a title page because it worked pretty well.
Oh, before we get too far along, so the soft cover's still out of print. The hardcover, you self-published this. You didn't go through Microcosm, right?
Correct. Yeah. Self-published through all of it. So yeah, Sad Religion was the soft cover was originally kickstarted.
Okay.
And so that was like one of the first, like, I guess my second Kickstarter that I did was Sad Religion.
So how many of these hardcovers?
So I've only printed like 25. of them to start. They're not going to be, it's not only limited to 25.
They can get it now?
They can't get it now. I'm saving it. I'm not putting them online until after Heroes Con. So it's kind of going to be like a Heroes Con exclusive was like the mindset there. Okay, and then whatever I have left over will go online.
So this is a big preview, so you can't get it yet.
Yeah. But soon, yeah.
But it's a high quality hardcover. I liked it a lot. I had read it before in the soft cover, and then I read it again last night in the hardcover. It's got a nice red ribbon.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you got a red ribbon. You got black end pages.
Yeah, and there's no dust jacket, which I like. So it's printed right on the hardcover. And I read it, and you can see it barely scored the I don't know what you call that, but the seam here.
Oh yeah,
is reading. So I mean, it's a good quality hardcover.
Yeah, I was happy with the turnout on it, and kept it pretty simple. And like the big difference, also, we probably could go through the differences between them. They're
about the same trim size.
Yeah, they're both already. The original was already oversized.
And it's about magazine width.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good size.
And then the big difference between them, it's the same content, except in the hardcover, I included the original mini comic of Sad Religion. Which has been...
I thought there was something...
Yeah, there's it's about 24 extra pages of that original mini comic, which was like one of the first mini comics I ever did in probably 2018 or 2017.
So the cost on going from a trade this size to a hardcover, is that really prohibitive? I mean, is it crazy?
It's a bit, but it's not crazy. I mean, this is the most I've ever charged for a book. So the hardcover retails, I suppose, for $35. Okay. So it's not crazy expensive for it, especially for it being as limited as it is right now. But it is. I mean, it goes up from a $20 book up to a $35 book, and that's kind of a big jump. And I don't often, I don't have anything on my table that's that expensive typically other than original art. So it's a risk no matter what.
Well, I'm big into hardcovers. That's my preference, but
that's what I'm hoping to get. I'm hoping to tap into the people who are really into hardcovers.
Yeah. But I also recognize that if I only ever buy hardcovers, I'm going to miss out on a lot.
Yeah,
so
very true. Yeah.
That's a thing, But, I enjoyed it a whole lot. I really love this book. I identify with so much in it, even though we're from radically different generations. You can see the same themes repeated in life, really. Mm-hmm. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. Here's another opening shot here, Sunday worship.
Yeah.
And I like this because you're wielding the cross almost like a giant battle axe or something. Yeah. And that's exactly kind of my problem with organized religion. It's people using it as a weapon.
Sure.
And that and the hypocrisy of the whole thing is just so... I don't want to get too much into my beliefs because it's not about my beliefs or lack thereof. But I think it's about everyone's, really. And this is a very personal story about yours. But, yeah, love that. And the best thing you ever created is probably being picked up by the mic now. And that is my granddaughter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can hear that. Yeah.
So this story here, where you go to the really wacky sort of, I guess it's Pentecostal church.
Yeah, it was.
And this is a true story?
Yeah, this is a true story. I did have a friend, and it says it in there, he invited me, and he said that he described his church as, it's like that scene in the Blues Brothers with James Brown, and I was like, oh, okay, I need to go. And so I went, and it's like me and two friends actually went there. I didn't include my two friends that were in there with me in the story, but yeah, all of this actually happened. It was wild. It was very interesting. It was kind of eye-opening coming from my more conservative Christian upbringing.
Yeah, and mine too.
And then just kind of seeing the chaos and then the excitement, but also just
unhinged.
Yeah. I guess
celebration.
Unhinged, and I don't mean unhinged in a negative way.
Right.
It was just uninhibited. Rather, it was very. It was
that's
free.
Probably a better term.
It was a freeing environment, and so, and the stuff the preacher said, and he was very like charismatic. I mean, it was like it was a you know, very traditional.
So is this basically what he said? I mean, I'm sure you had to.
Yeah, for the most part, I remember.
Back,
yeah, he said a lot of stuff. I do remember him specifically, like I do remember him saying to leave that shit at the door. Like he said that from the pulpit. Like, and I was shocked at that just because I'd never heard a preacher swear from the pulpit. And that like really shocked me. And
so was this a black church?
Yeah. So it was like it was a traditional Baptist African American church, and so like,
but they're similar into what I think of as well, I guess more white Pentecostal churches.
Yeah,
I was familiar with, at least around this area. When I grew up,
I mean,
they were known for raising the roof and shouting and running up and down the aisles.
There wasn't any speaking in tongues or anything like that. Like that's kind of what
That's more Pentecostal.
That's more Pentecostal. There were no snakes. There's nothing like that there. But this
was more like the Blues Brothers.
Very much. Yeah.
Scene.
Yeah.
Right. Of course, Blues Brothers, one of my favorite films of all time. So
oh yeah, absolutely.
Anytime you can reference that, you
exactly.
Got my attention. And here, this is pretty controversial. Here, I really like this image, and I think you're wrong.
That's fine.
That Randy Newman is a better songwriter than Bob Dylan. I respect your opinion, though, and I recognize Randy Newman is brilliant. I should say Randy Brilliant. That would be a good name for a character, though. Yeah, Randy Newman is brilliant. But
and a fun little tidbit that I like to point out is that 90% of the chapter titles in Sad Religion are Randy Newman song names.
Okay. I probably didn't pick up on that.
Most people don't pick up on that, and that's just like, that was like my one little nod that I could give, really, to Randy Newman.
Okay, and then this bit about That Thing You Do.
Yeah.
I love that movie so much. I haven't seen it in years. I really need to watch it again. And when I was preparing for this, and I was doing the scans this morning, I pulled up some clips on YouTube of this movie because I wanted to see this part. Or I tried to find the part where they first was like way too fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
it's my favorite. It's my favorite movie of all time, and
it's really, really.
And it really is. That's the movie that made me want to play music. It's a movie that made me want to play drums specifically, I suppose. And like, I love that movie so much.
And when you were talking about here, it reminded me of. The journey you started here with this, and the clips from Ed Sullivan and other things that you mentioned, and we'll get to that.
Oh yeah.
Reminded me of a similar journey I had, although I'm not a musician. In an alternate life I was.
Yeah.
Is the Blues Brothers for me was what That Thing You Do was probably for you.
Sure, yeah.
And as far as my interest in blues, because I really knew nothing about it until the Blues Brothers. Mm-hmm. And I know some people are probably going, well, that's sacrilege, that's not, but hold on a second.
Yeah.
John Lee Hooker's little cameo where he goes, how,
he's doing
boom, 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 on the street corner, and the camera just pans by him in that scene. Mm-hmm. And that little tidbit, though, man, I just thought, who is this guy? Yeah. What is that? It's awesome.
Sure.
And that made me go research Delta blues, and that got me into Chicago blues, and then all that stuff, and I went down this huge rabbit hole, and this was in high school, that I researched all this stuff. And it got me into all of that music that influenced the Blues Brothers, and even Sam and Dave. I had no knowledge of that whole thing. And so then from that tape in the car, the best of Sam and Dave, I went and got that tape, and then the CD, the best of Sam and Dave, and then realized their whole appearance was Sam and Dave. The suits.
Exactly. Well, and that's
briefcases.
It's wild. I mean, not to sound too, old guys screaming at the sky with it, but it was just different. That's how you found stuff. The internet wasn't the way that you could search through things. It's the same idea. I always attribute it to so I'm not constantly being like, well, the internet wasn't around. It's like the same as you start on a Wikipedia page and then you end up like
I literally went to the library, the public library, and I got a book called Deep Blues. Mm-hmm. I wish I should have had this ready. I don't remember who wrote it, but I checked out the library. Great book. I should probably get me a copy from my library now. But man, that was fantastic, and that took you through the whole history of music, really, popular music in America, and how basically it all came. It all comes from the blues. Yeah,
everything comes.
Which
from
came
the blues.
from
gospel
really,
and folk songs, and like it's the combination of it. Like it's wild.
Yeah, I need to see that thing you do again. I haven't seen it in years, but I remember loving it so much.
It's a great film.
Yeah. And in this page here, especially the panel at the top, I'll probably zoom in the video so you can see this. Everyone can see this panel, but your dialogue here you've got for your dad, where you ask, Dad, why do they think it's too fast? And he says, I don't know, bud. Maybe they didn't like it. And it's such just a little bit, but anyone that has known your dad and just even spoke to your dad for more than 5 minutes, you're like, oh my God, that's that's completely Tim. Yeah. That is his.
That's pretty good. That's pretty much him in a nutshell. I feel like.
Yeah, I love it. I could hear him saying it. I could totally hear him say it. Yeah, and you're still talking about that thing you do here and how it got you on that journey, and you mentioned the Clash and the Who and Led Zeppelin and all the greats. And I really like the way this page, I should say, is composed. It works really good. Talking about the Who here.
Yeah.
Keith Moon.
Yeah, Keith Moon on the Smothers Brothers specifically when the drum kit exploded. And
I like this page here too. I like what you're doing with light and tone and the black and white juxtaposition there.
Sure.
Yeah, it's nice.
Thank you. Yeah. That was...
And the light, and this also kind of reminded me of Blues Brothers a little bit. Where,
it felt like very
where he says, "I have seen the light."
Yeah,
and the light
I would say like
down
specifically this little story, this little 10-pager that's in there is about church was the way I could play drums because it was like it does feel very similar to the Blues Brothers. Just like it was like, oh well, I can play drums, but I can specifically play music like for God, and that's like feeling like I guess that empowerment, that like opportunity, and then even that like the authority, I suppose, like as part of it too.
Yeah, and I like how throughout the whole thing you never specifically say what your belief or non-belief is, and I kind of like that because it's like you're not trying to lead the reader either direction.
And that's like the whole purpose of the book. There's one story that I say it in there where I say it's like the beauty of faith is that you don't have to agree with it or believe it to have it. Like faith is pretty general, and that faith is different than belief and different than religion, and like that they're all separate from that, and that's kind of the idea, the mindset of it. And I don't want to, like, I'm not trying to preach on a pedestal by any means, like through the book. So trying to keep it pretty ambiguous and keep it very separate.
But it's not too much the other way either, because it would be easy to just do an atheist, I don't believe in God, and if you do, you're a fool. That's an easy trope to do.
Yeah.
And you don't do that either.
Yeah, no.
And as for me, I think I'm kind of like Fox Mulder on this. I want to believe, but every time I look into it, it just doesn't work out.
Sure. And there's a lot
for me.
And I think that it's everyone's personal like journey and experience that informs that, and it has to be an informed decision. I think that's the number one thing that I've come to learn.
So here's another Randy Newman reference here.
There you go. Yeah, that's my favorite Randy Newman song. "The World Isn't Fair."
Nice. Yeah, I like that image. And I like this one too, and this reminds me of Will Eisner a little bit.
Sure, yeah. Somehow. Yeah, well, no, it's, using the...
And also Daredevil, kind of.
Sure, yeah, there's a little bit... Yeah, both sides, yeah. We have both influences here. But yeah, that's that image was the original cover for the first mini comic of Sad Religion. So that was kind of where that came from. And then also Randy Newman's song, "It's Only at the Top."
And then this segment here, I kind of call your TED Talk.
Yeah, that was kind of the idea.
Narrated.
To do like a little a TED Talk comic. This was like the first this story was the first thing I wrote and drew for Sad Religion, which is why it also looks really different. I feel like it's funny you picked this page out. This page, I feel like I'm still kind of figuring out how I wanted to draw myself for some stuff.
Yes,
I'm trying
it's not as accurate as you later became.
No, definitely not. And it's not very consistent as well. And I think I actually used like a dip pen on this. I'm like using like a quill.
Yeah, it works, but you definitely evolved past this.
Yeah, so that's like it's funny, and I left all that kind of in there, and you can see like as even that story specifically, like it started as like a little 5-pager, and that's like the longest story in the book. It's like the last one in there that's like 20 pages. That was going to be like its own issue. That was kind of the plan.
I really enjoyed the TED Talk.
And that's from these are some pages from the original mini comic like that I first did, and
I love this composition. I think it works really well, and I like the the silhouette at the bottom.
Yeah, just trying to figure out. I mean, and again, like this is the second book that I did really was starting to do Sad Religion. This was during COVID. And I was really...
Yeah, this whole thing was from 21.
Yeah, 21, yeah. And so, like, this was the mini comic that was before that a little bit. So, like, writing, like, during lockdown times and stuff like that, where I was just like, I'm going to try to draw as many comics as I can during lockdown.
I think this whole presentation would work really well on YouTube as a TED Talk.
Yeah,
just illustrated.
Sure, yeah.
You know, with animation. Just imagine that.
Oh,
if you had a budget for that. That would
be exactly.
Awesome. And the hands up thing and the feeling awkward. That hits so hard because that describes my whole thing with church. When I tried to go to church, I grew up in, I guess early on when we did go to church, it was a Nazarene church. And then later it was a non-denominational. And then later in high school, with some buddies that I had there, they got me going to a Church of Christ. But I never really felt comfortable with any of these things. And that, I think, is what you're illustrating here with how you felt awkward when they said, put your hands up and lift your hands to the Lord, and all that. And it just felt off. You know? The whole thing felt almost like a performance and not...
For sure,
not genuine.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like... And so, I mean, not to get too deep into some of the... I guess the weeds of it, but I mean, I worked for a church. I was on staff at a church for many years, and
you still do some work here and there.
Still do some here and there. And like the number one thing that I always struggle with is as a person who like when he plays, like I get really into it or something like that. And whether that's any kind of music, I would treat it the same. Is that it can come off performative, and that's uncomfortable for everybody. It's like because then people are like, oh, that guy's just jumping around the whole time. And then also it's like, well, I don't want to be distracting, but I also like, I want to be authentic. And that's like a big conversation a lot. And especially in a lot of like modern churches today still. Yeah.
And then this toward the very back of the book here.
That was like a sketch.
Really beautiful Eisner-esque deal here going on.
For sure. That was 100% the idea. Like just taking from those original, like perfectly trying to mix the idea from like those splash pages from Contract with God, and then like also like his Spirit title.
Yeah,
pages.
A lot of his like, title opening pages were
incredible.
Buildings and the rain and the atmosphere. It's just
really, I'm always trying to do my best, well done. My best Eisner impression.
Yeah, like it a lot. And I'm not a huge Eisner fan. I know that's sacrilege, but I've tried to read Eisner for, and I haven't tried to read Contract with God. I need to do that.
Contract with God
would probably be my entry point.
I will say it is great. It can be a tough read in 2026.
Well, I tried to read The Spirit several times, and I found it hard to follow.
The pacing of that stuff is weird also with like the Spirit. And
I like his art a lot, but his storytelling, I mean,
the pacing is
sacrilege
tough.
Again, but...
No, I get what you're saying because the pacing of some of that Spirit stuff is difficult, and I don't know if it was like fully fleshed out, but I mean, the art is incredible.
Beautiful art, for sure.
That's always
especially the standalone title pages.
Oh yeah, those splash pages and title pages are incredible.
So you're going to be at Heroes Con this year.
Yes. And
that's where you're going to first sell the hardcover.
Yeah, I think I did. I had a couple copies with me at Free Comic Book Day when I did that here in town. But they didn't sell. But it's Free Comic Book Day. People aren't going to buy a $35 book at that. So it will be. The first convention debut of the hardcover will be at Heroes Con. So I'll have copies of that there. I'll have copies of everything that I've done there, as well as
and if you don't sell out the hardcovers there, You're going to put them on your website?
Yep, they'll go on the website if I don't sell out of them there. So
and I'll put links to everything down below.
Okay, perfect, yeah.
So you got some stuff to show off?
Yeah, I was just going to show some of the original art for it, just to, as we kind of talked about it. So like, cool. To show, like, that's how big I drew all of the pages.
Cover our eyes.
Oh yeah.
It might go down a little bit. Yeah, that looks pretty good.
So it's like, that's about how big I drew the pages for Sad Religion. So I always joke that Sad Religion is it's essentially an artist edition because it's the same size as it. And then I did want to just show the original art for the cover that I did.
Yeah.
So that's like we talked about it being doing all the original art in black and white and then digitally coloring it, although there really wasn't much color to do on this guy. But
so who we got on the back here?
Oh, on the back, that was just an idea that I didn't finish and I didn't like it, and so I was like, I'm gonna do this. It's the guy from Viagra Boys.
Oh, okay.
That was the idea. I had worked on. I had started working on.
Big Viagra Boy fan. Right
I'll
here.
show it there. I didn't finish it. It was supposed to be Sebastian from Viagra Boys in the Statue of David pose. that was the plan.
Now I want you to do that because I put that up in here.
We'll see. I don't know. I was trying to put together something to pitch to them to do a poster, and then I just fell off of it. So
yeah, I'm a huge fan of that group.
Oh yeah, great.
But yeah, so that's what you got coming up. You got
that's it.
The hardcover's coming out. Heroes Con appearance.
Yeah.
So if you're going to Heroes Con, or if you're thinking about it, you're on the fence. Do it because Reid will be there.
I'll be there. It'll be a great show. There'll be a lot. It's the really only big show that we do. We'll all be there. Me, Kristen, and Quinn, and then all our friends will be there. And
I wish I could go this one, but it's not going to happen. Now, my plan is for next year.
Yeah, Heroes Con 2027 will be the Larry's Library Expedition.
Hopefully. Yeah, that is totally the plan. But yeah, this has been fun. Hope you all enjoyed seeing this. It's a little bit different than I usually have on my channel. But whenever Reid brings something out new, I'm going to do a video, but you're going to see it here first, hopefully.
Well, thank you for having me, Larry. It's always a pleasure.
Yep. See you next time. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll catch you again. That sounded weird. Yeah. I'll leave it in.